What's up, guys and girls? I know this is probably the third video in a row that I'm wearing this hat. I don't know why. I always seem to be wearing this hat. I always seem to be doing these videos just as I come out from outside. And this hat is a little cozy number that keeps my head quite nice and cozy during these winter times. I do live in Scotland, so it's fairly cold at the moment, as it is all year. So I like to keep my head nice and cold. But also, I just wanted to say that this is also the third video in a row that it's a vlog. That is just simply due to me not having any gameplay content to upload that I feel that it's going to be interesting to you guys. I've got, as of late, the last few days since I've got back from G-Finny, all I've really been playing is things like 8s, things like League play, and I don't really feel like that is really going to appeal to you guys in terms of pure entertainment. I mean, I might get the views, but I don't feel like it's really going to interest you guys, and I really just want to entertain you guys, to be honest. I feel like these vlogs at this point, while the game's quite stale, are more entertaining, a topic of interest to some of you. And a lot of you may have seen in the last few hours that I've been talking quite a bit about this whole trash talking problem that we have in Europe. I mean, many Americans have came over and expressed their concern publicly in the level of trash talk being fairly disgusting in the European scene. And to be honest, it's not really as much of a problem in the top team versus top team players that have teamed with each other in the past sort of problem. People have usually got a bit of respect for one another and kind of avoid getting to too much on a personal level. A lot of people have said this trash talk also it doesn't, it happens in game, but it doesn't fall out of game. I do feel that way. Obviously, there's some times where there's been trash talk in game that's absolutely disgusting, calling people fat, calling people everything under the sun. That obviously, quite clearly, is a joke. But in the outsider's perspective, that for people that are not aware of these relationships between the two players, or the bonds or whatever, like the kind of personal jokes between one another, it's completely unacceptable, and it's for things like sponsors, investors, people that want to get involved in the scene that aren't quite involved yet. It's a complete turn off. I mean, I've always been a fan of getting hyped, and I've definitely been one of these people that have went out of order before. But to be honest, the only time I have really got out of order in terms of trash talk was when I was provoked into doing so by the other team being completely out of order to my own team and really making my own team feel like complete shit. And when we ended up coming back and winning that game, I really did let them know about it, and I certainly stepped over the line in terms of trash talk. I got really personal, and I was kind of really annoyed at myself after that. I was really mad, but I sort of felt like it needed to happen to myself. But since then, I've turned a new leaf. I kind of, although one of my main problems is swearing, it's not too bad of a problem. But I really used to, even on scrims online, I used to have this real bad problem where if I destroyed someone, I'd be like, "Get destroyed, you!" Even though it was only in a jokey manner, I would say, "Oh, get raped, you." Whatever, just some sort of personal insult to it, and it's completely out of order, and it's something that I've completely eradicated out of my game. And I feel like it's something that, although you don't see it too much, it's something that completely needs to disappear. People need to be, it needs to be really, really eradicated from the game. And to be honest, it doesn't really happen too much at the Gfinity events, or I've heard that it doesn't happen at all at MLG events. Obviously, there's some things that are not caught and some things that go unseen, which is really unfortunate. But from my perspective, it is very much seen in EGL events, which I love EGL. I mean, to be honest, it's still the kind of main event for European players as such. It's still the kind of, because although Gfinity is massive, I feel like Gfinity is massive, but it's the fact that it's not an open event. There's not loads. Well, there is loads of people there, but I think EGL just seems like EGL is like the MLG of Europe, although it has a lot to work on. And I think one of the main things that it needs to work on in regards to, but I think it's mainly a players' problem, because it's the players that are really, it's really not benefiting at all. The players that are maybe missing out on massive opportunities that they might have gotten from, but because they've opened their mouths or pissed off the wrong person, they could have pushed someone away from the scene, that a massive investor that could have helped at the scene, they could have potentially ruined their chances, burned some bridges with potential sponsors for themselves, burned some potential bridges for future teammates. I mean, a lot of people don't forget. Obviously, some people do like to forgive and get over a lot of these things, but some people don't forgive and forget, and some people just will always remember this sort of personal abuse. And imagine, for example, in football terms, imagine you personally abused Lionel Messi, and you're a Celtic player, right? And he decides, this is obviously this is an extremely crap example, but hopefully it'll make you guys understand. So, for example, Lionel Messi is in the situation where he wants to sign for Celtic, right? Which in a million years is never going to happen. But imagine there was a chance next year that Celtic became billionaires and they wanted to sign Messi. And because Neil Lennon called Messi a cunt one time, he doesn't want to. He doesn't like that guy and he'd rather stay with Barcelona. And obviously that was a really crap example, but hopefully you understand what I mean. It's those sort of it's that sort of thing that it's just. And I think this EGL event coming up in about a week's time, hopefully TCM are attending, because I really do want to help push out this whole direction that I want to go, because it's really stopping the growth of the EU players, the EU scene as a whole in Call of Duty. It's really stopping our potential growth. Players like Madcat, numerous players who could potentially be making money from this, big bucks who've maybe missed out on opportunities. Obviously, all these players have probably done it in the past, but I think now we really need to go into this EGL event, stamp out completely the trash talk. It's always been talked about in the past. We're going to do warning systems, but I think it really needs to be enforced, this event. I think it really does. Going into Call of Duty Ghost, this is the last event before Call of Duty Ghost for the vast majority of us, so I think the main focus, a big focus, needs to be on this trash talk. And I think it even needs to go down to this. Say, for an example, it's in the rules, but there's not a ref in that game, whatever. And I play like there's a torrential trash talk coming from one team to another. Obviously there's going to be people walking around. People are going to be able to hear this, and I think that the team that are receiving on the other end of this trash talk shouldn't rise to it. At the end of the map, they should be able to go and complain about it. And if there's the outsiders that are maybe listening to this and watching the game, they should be able to say, yeah, that was out of order, and that team should be able to forfeit another team a map. Quite like something like game battles. Like they should be able to go, like, for example, game battles, if you have the wrong gun on, that's not allowed. After the game, you'll be like, you've used something that's banned, like that. So you should be able to go, trash talk is banned, you forfeit that map, and here's all the people that heard you say that. Do you know what I mean? There needs to be something. It needs to be enforced. That's just a really crappy idea. It's a decent idea, but it really does need to be enforced at this event. People need to be forfeiting maps for it. Obviously, ideally, no one's forfeiting maps because no one's doing it. But I think at this stage, it's really something I'm passionate about, because I feel like, going to this G4 event at the weekend, I was talking to a lot of people and hearing some of the stories regarding some. I can't really go into it, obviously. Due to reasons, obviously, people told me these stories and kind of wanted me to keep them secret. Do you know what I mean? But the things I've heard, guys, about missed opportunities and things for this scene, it really needs to happen. And EGL is one of the things that was pointed out. Like, we need to sort out our trash talking problem. We really do. Guys, this is a plea from myself. For all European top players, for everyone in Europe that's going to be attending this EGL event, let's sort out trash talking. And obviously, top players are kind of looked up on us, I suppose, to the lower players. There's been times in the past where these top players have trash talked people, and people have kind of stolen that idea and used it against their opponents. But I think really now, I'm not, like, I want to make things clear. I'm not saying no hype, no excitement in game, no, like, let's go. You're like letting people know that they're bad. There's no problem with that. It's the swearing, the like being disgusting, like saying, for example, you're fucking shit, get raped, you fucking fat cunt. Like, do you know what I mean? I've heard that at EGL events. I've heard that at other events as well. I'm not saying it's not just EGL. I'm not putting the blame on EGL. It's not their fault. It's the players' fault. It really is. People are saying, like, oh, EGL should ban it, but it shouldn't come down to banning. It really shouldn't. Like, it should just not happen. Like, it doesn't need to happen at all. People are saying it needs to be banned, but it doesn't. That's not true. It just needs to all the top players uh, to realise that we're missing out on a lot here, and we need to really become the sort of role models of the community, and and really stop all this trash talking bullshit. Oh, sorry, I just got a really weird text. I always sort of get distracted in these commentaries, but that's the video, guys. I probably forgot about a few things, but I just kind of wanted to do this video on the fly and just express my opinions on the matter. Hopefully, you guys understand, and I really want to push this out for EGL next weekend. I want everyone to just start calling people out. If somebody's been out of order and you're sitting right behind the game, tell the person you're being out of order. We need to let people know. We need this to stop in order for us to grow. We need to. We fucking need to. Call of Duty Ghosts come up. Massive opportunity for us to grow once again. I mean, we're showing steady growth year after year. But this is one of the main problems. Like, things that are stunting our growth. We don't need these unnecessary things that are stunting our growth. And trash talk is one of them. It is. Think about it. It is fucking one of the problems. And I'm swearing right now, and I really shouldn't be. But yeah, guys. Hopefully you understand. Hopefully we can all make this push for next weekend and really use EGL as that sort of starting point for something that's gonna. We really need to start this sort of campaign as such. Maybe we could get a little hashtag going. Hashtag stop trash talk EGL. Hashtag trash talk no more. Hashtag give trash talking the red card. Something like that. I don't know. But once again, I'd like to reiterate that I'm not saying no to trash talking. There's things like Shane, for example, at Gfinity said something like, "You've all got atrocious haircuts." Like, he didn't swear. He didn't get like that's not personal. I wouldn't say having a bad haircut was like a personal thing. Well, it's not really. I think like when you're saying things to people that are going to personally make them feel self-conscious and make them feel really bad about themselves, saying, "Oh, you've all got bad haircuts." That's a funny, like, witty remark. No one's going to really take much offence to that. But it's when you're calling people fat, when you're saying things like, "You spotty fucker," I don't know. I'm just giving you really. There's numerous examples. I've heard disgusting things said at numerous events around Europe, and I really want it eradicated from now on. So, yeah, guys, if you've enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you've not already. But yeah, guys, thanks a lot, and I hope you appreciate my enthusiasm for this whole thing. And I'll see you all later. Peace out.